So here we are with wonderful pianist, one of the most outgoing classical musicians I've ever met.
Thank you,
Kong
Esther.
Xiangdong. I've been calling you Kong Lao Shi since forever, so probably I'm gonna stick with that throughout the episode.
Well, a lot of people call me Dong Dong, if you don't mind. I mean, that's a nickname my mother always called me. So my closest friends, they always call me Dong Dong. So try to get on with that.
People don't know that you are basically 75th generation of Confucius.
Believe it or not, when I realized how important the last name bear with Kong to me, until I was 19 years old, when I got into America.
Okay.
One day I walked to a very big bookstore at Columbus Circle in New York. Then I saw the entire wall of books dedicated to Confucius. I said, wow, he is popular here, man.
I know that your first piano wasn't even a piano. It was a cardboard.
Copper keyboard.
Yes. But somehow, interesting thing is like you continue playing on it, you practice. So I'm wondering what little Kong Xiangdong was pursuing. Was it like a pure stubbornness or pure passion for music?
Well, I had no idea at all. I thought every pianist would start their learning on a copper keyboard. My mother drew a copper keyboard for me, so made me practice on it. So when I was 16 years old, that was my first time to play a real Steinway in Central Conservatory of Music before the national piano competition for a 15-minute everybody tryout. So after the 15-minute tryout, I came out to my teacher. I said, wow, my sounds really good. Then the second thing I said, I must one day to own a Steinway by myself. I must make money enough to get a Steinway for myself because that sound just so unreal. It's so surreal. I still remember. I was shaking. Now I tell my mom, I said, Mom, you were so smart. You almost invented the iPad then.
Do you think it's sort of impacted the way you see piano playing, more imaginary rather than just the keyboard vision?
I was asked by my mother to sing every single note I was practicing on. It's kind of natural for me, to really sing along even today after all these years, to sing along with every single note that I'm playing on. And the melody is not just on my fingers, it's in my heart. Young pianists, I will tell them, it'd be great way to practice, sing it. So you practice your left hand, but sing the right hand, and vice versa.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah, because piano is such a complicated instrument.
So is violin.
Yes, but I always think piano is more complicated.
Winning Sydney International Competition, 1992.
1990, I was 24.
It was quite a significant milestone for yourself, I'm sure, because after that, a lot of things probably open up for you as an artist. But I think it was also a significant event for Chinese musicians on the international stage. How do you think that kind of impacted your career back then?
As a young pianist, we all go to competitions, and we call it necessary devil. You know it. Yeah, it's a devil, but it's necessary. We have to go through all the hassles. Actually, that was the only way we thought to study music for. There was no agents, no concertizing opportunities. As a child, we all knew that if we win prizes, we have more opportunities to perform in public.
Yeah.
So going to competition was really the only way that we could get international recognition.
I remember during one of those events I've met you, you basically asked the audience to give you 2, 3 notes, and then they just randomly said like do, fa, re, whatever. And then you created an entire melody out of those couple of notes. And it was so fluid, so natural, almost like your hands knew what to do right before your brain did. So my question is like, does the improviser Kong Xiangdong exist beyond piano?
That's a great question. Actually, I'm a kind of a person always want to reach out. Since you and I, we are on the same path because we were taught in a very strict way to learn classic music. I mean, everywhere the same. very, in a very strict rule, how to play, how to express in traditional classical music. I always had a dream. I said, I want to get out these boundaries. I don't want to break all the barricades. I want to reach out, search the freedom of my own soul. Beethoven, Chopin, Rachmaninoff, Shostakovich, all they wrote it. Fantastic. We repeatedly perform them, listening to them, we get different feel every time, of course, according to your age, your mood, your thinking, your state of mind. Yes, every time is different. But I think improvising is a very important core for a musician. You want to do something with your own freedom after you equipped with all the musical techniques, after you've been going through enough repertoire.
Yeah, that's true. They say like learn the skill as a professional so you can improvise as an artist.
It's kind of very natural for you. You want to say, hey, I want to play Chopin, but I'm Xiangdong. Why can't I be myself? I want to demonstrate, prove that my existence. But improvising has been always in my mind since I was 16 years old. Even I was practicing really hard, up to like 14 hours a day for competition and all that. But I always, when I had a leisure time, want to have fun, I just try to improvise.
Right.
But not until I had this 8-year depression period. Not until then, I found out, well, I want to search for the real value of music.
You talked about it, so I will probably ask a little bit about that part of your life. You have stood on one of the greatest stages in the world, stages that a lot of musicians would have ever dreamed about. But once I read when you mentioned that there was a time when even my piano went quiet, and I think that moment is so human as a fellow musician who kind of understands what does it feel like to be in a noisy room but feel lonely and quiet at the same time. So when your piano went quiet, was it actually frightening or it was something your soul needed?
So many people said, how could you get into that 8-year-long depression? I said, well, maybe that was God's will. Maybe, he decided that was good for me to cool off a little bit, to look inside of myself a little bit, to rethink what's everything mean to me a little bit. Sure, 8 years is pretty long, but now when I come back here, so here we are again. Here we are, and I think life to me. I always think this is the second half of my life concert.
Do you think the fact that you were a musician kind of helped you, or it actually made it harder?
Well, actually, it's hard first. A musician is a very lonely life. You know it. Being a professional musician, traveling musician, even more lonelier. If you're a violinist, again, you still have an accompanist. For pianist, you travel alone, you practice alone, you get on the stage alone if you do solo recital.
And every time it's a new instrument, relatively new, it's like
Yes, totally new, and you never know what's next waiting for you.
it's like life metaphor in a way.
That's for sure. I feel every piano has a soul.
It does.
Every piano, why it's so different? Even the same manufacturer makes tons of same kind, same model, same size of piano, but each of them are so different.
Yeah.
If the piano stay with me for 10 years, I can tell you honestly, I can guarantee have the piano being Xiangdong sound.
Yeah.
Because you touch it, you talk to it, it just become part of you. This is my wife, my husband, since my childhood.
We were married since I was
We're married, and this marriage never can get divorced.
That's a good one. This is a question I keep having every time I see a great painting or I hear a great masterpiece of classical music or any genres. Behind of most of the masterpieces, there is always a misery story. It's always a struggle. It's always a heartbreak. It's always a very difficult life circumstances. So I cannot help to think why always difficulty creates masterpiece that success would ever do.
When we suffer, we think more. You know, when you make quick money, you have fun. Yes, you have fun, a lot of fun, but you stop thinking. You stop thinking. When we suffer, we will definitely feel painful, feel sometimes hopeless or despair. But you will think, you will search for every corner of this life for possibilities. But on the other hand, if you go all the way just smoothly, success always come your way, yes, great. But once you drop off, you will just go down all the way. I don't mean being artists they have to suffer, but artists do suffer a lot. A good artist, because good artists has more sensitivities.
That's a problem. I struggle.
We all do, from day to day, from minute to minute, from year to year, from moment to moment. We cannot avoid that. That's the nature of being a musician. We are more sensitive than the normal crowd, that's for sure. And we are much more self-disciplined than any profession.
Yeah, please say it to camera.
Yeah. We are more self-disciplined than any of you out there. Music is something like it's so beautiful for outsider to see it. Everybody's, wow, musician, wow. But when you're getting inside, when you deal with all the troubles every single day, when you worry about where is the next concert, then trouble starts.
As much as we are talking about it, as harder it gets. I'm like, are we that difficult?
Well, it's difficult because we have been through a lot. Recently, I saw the Xiangdong's interview, and she said exactly the same thing. I mean, everybody thinks she plays so fast, so light. She wears beautiful dress, But it's a tough job. It's not easy,
That being a musician is like a sportsman. It's like a non-stop work throughout all your life.
Yeah.
There is no day you wake up, you're like, I mastered it. Even you
So
play.
I always tell people these days, I said, look, you might not like that particular performer on stage, but that cannot stop you to pay respect to them, because whoever stand on stage today, that means she or he has spent so many hours practicing and preparing for this event, and that deserves everybody's respect at least. Yeah, nobody is perfect.
Yeah.
Maybe she or he is not your cup of tea.
Yeah.
But that doesn't matter. You cannot just crucify them.
I've been also recently thinking a lot about, it's like so much of peeping, so much of like judgment for musician, and it's always judged by non-musicians, or it's always judged by people who never actually even touch the instrument.
It's a pretty low-class act.
Do they really know what it takes to just even walk
They certainly
on stage?
don't. If they do know music enough, if they really realize how hard the profession is, they wouldn't see that.
Yeah.
So that's why they need to watch this episode.
Yeah, please, because we want to send more love. You don't have to really write bad stuff about everybody.
Yeah.
Trust me, there is in the world, there is zero artist who wants to go on stage and play bad. Like, that's for sure, you have to remember.
Well, of course, I do believe there are musicians who will get nervous. Everybody, tell you honestly, whoever plays violin, piano, or being a vocal artist, we all spend our life on this issue. Means pursuing our dream, and regardless success or failure, right?
Because every time any artist is on stage, they give up so much, and then doesn't matter what, so much of expectation. That yali, that pressure is quite high, because everybody expects you to be perfect, and maybe you had a bad day, maybe you didn't sleep. Nobody cares about it.
That's another thing I think, Astrid, these days, because people listen too much online. They listen too much
Perfection.
recorded music.
I see.
They watch too much short videos.
I see.
I think that people still need to go to live concert. Live concerts are like a fresh food. But on the other hand, recorded music doesn't matter visually or audioly. They are, canned food.
Thinking about that, if I came to this world not as a human being, if I came to this world as a classical music piece, which one I would be? And I tend to think of myself, probably I would be Rachmaninoff's second piano concerto.
Wow. You picked the best.
I try to, because it combines all kinds of emotion characters. I thought probably that would be me. But have you ever thought about this? Like, if you came to this world as a music piece, what would summarize your personality?
It's very hard.
It can be pop song. It can be also rap.
Well, pop song, yeah. We Are the World.
Oh, you go for Michael Jackson.
Oh, I love Michael Jackson. I want a peaceful world. I'm an open-hearted person. I'm a person with big love. I just feel, the world get better. It's pretty chaotic here right now, don't you think?
Yes.
Each day I open my iPhone, I don't know what's pop up. It just surprises me day by day. So I think we are the world. I think we should be more loving each other. So I think the music is love. So musician as a messenger to deliver love, to share love. That's how I, see it as this profession at the end of the day.
If you have an opportunity to invite two famous people alive from history for dinner.
Oh, I would love to invite Chopin and George Sand.
Wow, that's an interesting combo. Why?
Well, because I want to find out what's the true love over there. Because George.
So what happened? Everybody wants to know.
I would love to have a dinner for them. I will cook Chinese for them.
What will be served during the dinner?
Oh, 番茄炒蛋.
If you could gift one idea or mindset from China to the world, what would that be?
Well, I think at least everybody should have a chance to visit China, to see for yourself. To see for yourself, feel for yourself. Just don't easily trust whatever you see on internet, because everybody has their own opinion about it. But I think the more you travel, the frequent travelers always have much more open-minded. Because when you see more, you feel more, you know more.
Agree.
After you get China and you decide, what's this country like?
Yeah. For somebody young, from 0 to 100 years old, young, if they are watching this, they are struggling with something and they are figuring out their life, or they just going through some difficult moments. What do you want them to remember?
Well, first of all, you remember your mother and your father's face, how they look at you, how they feel so excited in tears to see your first little success. Don't forget how you start your first step walk in your life. That's most important. Other will just follow your determination.
That's a good message. Thank you so much, Rachman Laoshi. Thank you for your time, for accepting this invitation and sharing with us with your musical wisdom.
Pleasure is all mine. So here we are.
So here we are.